First of all, I will introduce our group member.
Mula, baru kat tarik kursi dia duduk gini Nak apa tu boleh cut je nanti apa yang awak katakan.
Sekejap mata yang tak present yang tengok ni slide.
Okay. Satu, dua, tiga.
Assalamualaikum and good morning. First of all, I will introduce our group member. My name is Nur Amira, Nur Hanani, Siti Zubaida, Nur Fyna and Wan Shakira. Our group have done a research on lack of confidence in speaking English as a second language. First is your background. This paper is to investigate and determine a level of proficiency and mastery in English as second language. The case study is conducted in University Tun Hussein of Malaysia, which focus on the Faculty of Technology Management and Business. Method that have been used in conducting this research is questionnaire, consists of 70 questions. By using questionnaire, it can measure the behavior, attitudes, preference, opinions, and intentions. In general, aim of this study is to identify student weakness in English language and explore how students face the challenge. In doing so, this research also seeks to clarify factors that contribute to low English proficiency among international students. Next is Fyna.
My name is Nur Hanani. I will go through the finding and discussion part. For figure 2.1, it provides result on the proportion of students in each rank that shows 4 categories of ages in the questionnaire. Most of the respondents from 19 to 21 years old and can be classified as the highest ranking of all choices. As age is required in the questionnaire is to classify which age level that is currently having difficulty in speaking skills, especially in English as a second language. For figure 2.2, it provides the result on the year of study in FPTP students consists of year 1, year 2, year 3 and year 4. The highest respondent collected is in year 3 and 4, and the least is from year 4. Year of study is one of the important elements in this questionnaire as it will be affected in the terms of level of thinking of each respondent. For figure 2.3, it consists the course program in FPTP, which are BPA, BPB, BPC, BPD, and BPP. BPD scored the highest ranking, followed by BPA, BPP, BPB, BPP, and BPC. In this research, by using course program as one of the important elements in the questionnaire, is to determine the level of English proficiency to each of the course.
Next, I will continue on findings. So, figure 2.4 show your web bands. So, figure 2.4 show the web band for students who take web tests. So, the results show the highest percentage of web band is 54%, which is majority get band 3 in web examination. So, in summary, we can conclude based on the result about web band, the majority of the students who get band 3. So, the reason is maybe do not practice in speaking before sitting for examination, or maybe they feel not confident when speaking in the English language. Next, figure 2.5 show how many times did you sit for web. Okay. The next figure 2.5 show about the time the student FTP sit for web examination. So as usual, for those who get band 1 and 2, they must sit for a repetition of the web examination to get band 3. Because the requirement for graduation and entering the university and must be at least get band 3 in web. So based on the result from the respondent, the percentage for those students who will take twice in web examination is 28.9%. So we can see that the majority of students will get band 3 and band 4. So the reason why students take twice in web because of lack of knowledge about web skill. So next, figure 2.6 show where students take the opportunity to speak in English language. Generally, the higher percentage show that almost students speak English in class, that is 58%. So many students more prefer to speak in class because of almost subject in class is in the English language, so that they can speak in English during the presentation, asking the question or make a dialogue with their friends. So, but the other places, the percentage show that only 14% speak English at home, and also many students who did not speak in everywhere. Next, I will pass to the next person.
Okay, for figure 2.7, it shows that mostly students in FTP are having English speaking environment. 70% of the 50 respond agree that FTP having English speaking environment. Among the student and the lecturer, they usually use English on their daily class and activities among the faculty. The other 24% disagree on having English environment. This is because some of the students notice that their friends are afraid to speak English in their daily. It can conclude that majority of the lecturer encourage the students to speak English among them for demonstrating its possessive influence through their role in education system. Next, for the figure 2.8, it shows that 98% of the respondents agree that lecturers in FTTP are providing opportunity to speak English in class. It also can be shown by the lecturer during the class, where they always persuade the student to speak in English, whether to ask questions and sharing their understanding of learning class. A way to get the student motivated to speak in English is to allocate a percentage of their final grade to speaking skills. And then for the 2.9, it shows that 76% of the respondents agree that among their classmates help each other to develop speaking English skills. They are always helping each other, whether during class in completing the assignment, while the other 34% did not agree. This can be due to lack of interaction and not able to cooperate with the classmate.
Next, for figure 2.10, the majority of responses, which is 98%, shows that the lecturer use English as a medium of instructions. It means lecturers among FTP are promoting English in the classroom. It will benefit to students in their daily life. And about 2% students disagree that teachers are use English as a medium of instruction for the teaching of English. Next, for 2.11, we can see that more than half, which is 66% from that are using Bahasa Melayu as a language to deliver the presentation in the class. Meanwhile, 34% are using English. Majority students use Bahasa Melayu to deliver their presentation because they are lack of confidence to deliver it in English. Generally, for sure, this is unexpected result because we thought that English students are good to deliver presentation or communication in English. Next, for figure 2.12, the higher percentage of those is 44%, which is other people give encouragement when they speak in English. Other than that, 40% of that are reply in English too. Meanwhile, 12% will laugh and 4% of it is critique on your conversation. So, majority of students are give encouragement to other students to speak in English either in the class or not. Encouragement from others make them feel comfortable and confident to speak in English.
Okay, next is figure 2.13. Figure 2.13 is on the confidence level of students, whether they feel that their friends speak in English better than they do. The results show that 94% responded agree on these questions and only 6% does not agree. From the result, we can conclude that almost all of the respondents think people around them are better than them. It means that they feel discouraged or not confident to speak English. They might think other people are better and feel shy to speak English because they might make mistakes. Actually, it is an expected result as when we observe the student life and activities, we find that many of them does not encourage to communicate in English. Next is figure 2.14. It discuss on does the student consider themselves as a good English student. The chart shows that 66% student does not agree with the questions and 33% agree. This shows that many of them feel that they are not good English students. There are many reasons on why they feel that way. One of the solutions is always practice speaking English either at home or school as practice makes perfect. Students should try speaking English as much as they speak Bahasa Melayu. By this way, we can enhance our English skills and language. For figure 2.15, is on the total score of speaking test in web test. There are no respondent score between 1 to 7 marks, 15.6 score in 8 to 15 marks, 55.6 score in 16 to 23 marks. On the other hand, 70.8% score between 24 to 30 marks, 8.9% score in 31 to 37 marks, and lastly, 2.1% score in 38 to 45 marks. For the result, we can see that Band 3 range has the highest score, followed by Band 4 range. It shows that majority of the students have average level on web tests, which is a good sign. From the previous research by Soba Ratinasamy, the result also alike, which is average respondent score is in Band 3. The score for highest score, Band 4 and 5, is higher compared to lower score, Band 1 and 2.
For open-ended question in 2.16, what suggestion to improve speaking score in web? Most of the respondents stated their suggestion in speaking practice, reading, watching, listening, and be confident and relaxed. Majority of the students stated that by doing a lot of practice could improve speaking score in web. As we know, frequently practicing in speaking makes someone regular to speak and prevent them from shaking while doing the speaking test or speaking practice. And by second, majority answered by the respondent was read more English books, newspaper or novels, watching English movies or dramas, and listening to English kind of songs. Moving to another point, by doing some reading in any form, it will help to increase vocabulary and enable to structure better sentences without any grammatical error. Watching TV without subtitles so that it would be easy to grasp what is being said. On top of that, listening is another form in improving speaking score because when reading is done, it can be related to listening as one is already been exposed to some of the words. And the last is only in 2 or 3 respondents said that confident, relaxed, and be calm was the key to improve speaking score in web. And they should know what would be going to say and why. Be prepared and focus, keep it short and simple, as most speakers try to do too much in speaking.
Okay, for question 2.70, majority of students give answers that watching movies is a great way to improve English, especially in listening and speaking skills. By watching movies with English subtitles will improve your vocabulary and even pronunciation. Choosing a film to watch that is suitable for the level of English can be difficult. And the next point is reading. Majority answer for the question that response suggests is reading. First and foremost, reading is one of the best ways to increase vocabulary and consolidate the understanding of the grammar.
Okay, for the recommendation part, it can be overcome. For the first limitation is about the sample size. For this limitation, we can overcome it with having a systematic planning at the limited source of time. And then the second one is for the question A, we can overcome this recommendation by looking for more interesting on the question, even though the student have a lot other things to be done. The question should be easier to understand and have the multiple choice that have an accurate answer. Besides that, to overcome for not remembering the web result, we can do about the online system for the checking the web result should we terminate the period of the time given in checking the result so the participant will be easier to access at any time they need to get the result.
Okay. Next, for the conclusion, we can conclude that we managed to achieve the objective when the result in finding 2.6, 2.8 and 2.9 show that 50 students will speak in class and get the opportunity from lecturer to speak in English during the class. So this is shown when most of them try to speak in English at least in class and they can improve speaking skill time and time between students and teachers. Throughout completing our research, we encountered several limitations, which are we have limited time to collect and analyze data from respondent and observation. So additionally, based on the questionnaire and the result of each student FTP, the student who took part in this research study had great difficulty when less speaking skill at the time to speak, and most of their sentences were fractured and written by words rather than structures. So besides that, they barely communicate with others, and in some cases, they did not even show them to the class. So there were no speech and no effort to do it. So at the end of the research project, so there was an evidence progress in student oral production, interaction, and above all, disposition to communicate with the teacher and other peers. So some students still depends on the listener for clarification and put ideas across with some difficulty, but their speaking skill is generally not fully mastered by students. Thank you.